Good evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Welcome to another Friday Waffle. I know I said I wasn't going to do these, and here I am. I think I've done 4 in succession since making that statement. But you know what? As I keep saying, as long as I've got stuff to talk about, whether it's me making it up or you guys giving me stuff, then these will continue. So anyway, how the hell are you? I'm fine. This is getting recorded on Thursday. Now I'll apologise in advance if the brightness keeps kind of going in and out. It's this camera. I've got it's still daylight outside, so the light will change. I know it's a pain in the arse, but anyway, it's if you don't like the image, then just listen to the podcast down below. So yeah, I'm fine. I've since my last Friday Waffle, which I recorded. When did I record it? I actually recorded it last Friday because I was on a half a day. I went. Where did I go? Myself and my daughter Ava. We went down to Birmingham to Insomnia. Now, excuse me, if you don't know what Insomnia is, apart from it being you can't sleep, it's a gaming festival. Primarily PC games, but then they do have consoles and they have kind of VR stuff as well. But it's in down in Birmingham. It's in the NEC. We've gone to that. I'm trying to think. We've probably been there. I don't know, the last 5 years. Well, the last 5 years it's been on. It's a hell of a way from my doorstep to the hotel. It's 300 miles on the dot, and then from the NEC back up the road it was 306 miles. So we drove down Friday. I think we left about 4 o'clock. We got down there for about 10 o'clock. Stayed in a travel lodge, and then we went to the show. Now tell you what I'm going to do. I did take some footage. Now, I'm one of these people, I'm not... Some people you see recording footage at events and they'll talk over it while they're there and they'll stand and make a complete tit of themselves. I'm not like that. I'm a bit too shy. I don't really like filming in public because I think you're potentially infringing on people's privacy, so I'm never really keen on pointing a camera at somebody. So what I did was using this camera. It's got a little screen so I can see what I'm recording. I held the camera at waist height and I just wandered about. I don't know how much footage I took, maybe about an hour, maybe slightly more. The intention was going to be put out an Insomnia video, but I watched it back now. Whilst the actual quality is really good, I think it's like 1080p. There's a lot of juddering because obviously I'm walking, so the camera's moving about, and it's not really that good. But what I'm going to do, rather than put out a separate Insomnia video, I'm just going to tag the footage on at the end of this Waffle. So if you want to watch it, by all means watch it, but I don't think it merits its own video. So that's why you're looking at the video thinking, holy shit, he's recorded a 2-hour Waffle. No, don't get too excited. It's half an hour of Waffle and an hour and a half, or whatever it is. I don't know, I've no idea. It might only be half an hour, it might be 40 minutes, I don't know. Insomnia footage is at the end. What I will do to make it slightly more entertaining, I will put my own witty commentary on. Try and make it mildly amusing. So I'm not going to talk about Insomnia anymore, because if you want to know how we got on Insomnia, watch the video. That's my dog coughing because I gave Archie and Jax a chew each, and Jax decided to eat both of them. Archie sniffed his, went away, and Jax decided to eat both of them, and then he's now choking, so it's his own fault. So that was Saturday. We left what time? We actually left fairly early to come back up the road. I think we left about 3 o'clock. Got home for about 9. But did we stop? No, we didn't actually. We kept going. We didn't stop at all. We stopped going down, but we didn't stop at all coming up. It's funny, you tend to do, well, at least I do that. When you're going somewhere, you're excited. It's like going on holiday, and I think part of that is to stop and go into McDonald's and all that kind of bollocks. But coming up the road, you just want to get home. And that's what we did. So yeah, we go home about 3:30. So like I said, you want to watch Insomnia, but just wait to the end of the Waffle. Sunday, I picked up my girlfriend. Excuse me, that's my alarm going off. Let's say it's going to go off in 15 minutes. And where did we go? We went to a place called New Lanark. Now, I'll put some photographs to let you see. New Lanark is, it's a mill. I was going to say basically is a word that people use way too often, myself included. I don't know why, but it seems to be one of the most common words in the English language, and I'm always conscious of doing it, but I still use it. Anyway, it's a mill that was built just at the Industrial Revolution, which would be the start of the 1900s, something like that. Apologies, I've got that wrong. In fact, no, earlier than that. What am I talking about? It's 18 something or other. And it was a guy called Robert Owen, and he opened up this big factory. It was to make cloth. It was like weaving and what have you. But what he did was, it was built on the River Clyde, which is the main river that goes through Glasgow. And he actually created a village, and the village that it was tagged onto was called Lanark, and he called it New Lanark because it was a new part of. I might be talking complete bollocks, by the way. I'm just doing that. I'm surmising this is what happened. He built this New Lanark village back, what you're talking about, 200 years ago, something like that. Now, what sets this apart from any other factory was he really, really, really looked after the people that worked for him. He built houses. They all had houses to stay in. Not big houses. We're talking 200 years ago. But, they had toilets and what have you. This was one of the first ever places that introduced sick pay. So if you couldn't go into the mill to work, you got paid sick pay. I don't know if he introduced holiday pay. I don't think he did that. Christ, there's probably some places even now that don't have holiday pay. But yeah, he introduced sick pay, and he also built a school for all the local kids. So the kids would go to work. They'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, work for like 5 hours, then they'd go to school. So this village, they really looked after people. It's an amazing place. If you're ever up in Scotland on holiday, then I would really recommend you look this place out. It's wonderful. I've been there loads of times. Can't remember how many times I've been there. You can get into all the mills, and you can get into Robert Owen's house. He was the guy that owned it. Obviously, he had a detached house. You can get into the houses where the other people stayed. There are people who still stay in this village. Obviously, they've been done up a wee bit. I think they've got running water and electricity now, but it's an amazing place. So like I said, I've put a few photos, you can see what you think, but that was great. So anyway, yeah, Lee and I went there on Sunday, and there's a hotel, New Lanark hotel, funnily enough, and we stayed there. It was a 4-star hotel. It was Lee's birthday last week, so I thought I'll do something nice. So we stayed overnight. We went for a walk on the Sunday, and then we had our dinner. It was like we got a 3-course meal, which was lovely. Got our breakfast on Monday morning. I took Monday off work, by the way, and then we just had a really, really nice time. So that was my weekend. It was great. We went to Insomnia Friday, Saturday. I say his name. We went to this hotel on the Sunday, Monday. So great, really, really good time. The only downside to it was I missed, I was going to say 2 episodes. I missed two Cook Soul classes because I've got a Cook Soul class on Saturday, which I missed, and I also had one on Monday. But by the time I got back, it was quite literally too late to go. So that was my weekend. Tuesday didn't do a great deal. Yeah, I've been playing games. I'm not going to say playing games in the mist. I've been playing games. I mean, what was I playing last night? The Jupiter Ace. I was playing some Commodore C16 Oblique +4 games. Having great fun with that. So yeah, still absolutely enjoying that certain piece of hardware. Really, really enjoying it. Not made many videos. I did put out a video a couple of days ago playing. It was me and my mate Neil. Excuse me, I'm going to have a quick drink of my coffee before it gets cold. I'm terrible for making myself coffee, then I forget to drink it. Oh, you know what? I've just had that awful moment. I was expecting coffee and it was tea. I'm like, hot water, what the hell's that? Yeah, so that's been that. Yeah, I put out a video on Monday, I think it was, no, Tuesday I put it out, of my mate Neil and myself playing the Commodore TV games. Now it is called Games with an S at the end. Brilliant machine, really, really, really nice. I was laughing because one of my mates, Andy, who very, very kindly, he repaired it because I think we fried it. We reversed the polarity on the power pack and fried it. Andy was able to resurrect it, and he also did a composite mod which allowed us to play it. He was actually saying that the quality of that, you can't compare the quality of that to like a Binatone, a cheaper version. The Commodore is much, much better. I mean, the Wii controls themselves are great, you know. The Binatone one is quite cheap, it's very plasticky. This thing was a lot better. So that was great fun. It's great actually being able to use these things again. I mean, you know, I had a Binatone back, I don't know, 77, something like that. So getting to play these again, yeah, they are extremely primitive and basic, but you know, it's great being able to kind of revisit the original where we kind of started. Anything else gaming wise? I've been absolutely caning Last of Us 2, loving it. It's an absolute phenomenal game. I mean, I loved the first game. I played and completed that 4 times possibly. And then I bought the excuse me, I actually bought the sequel, like I got it like 2 days after it came out, and then I never played it. I played it for half an hour and I wouldn't say I got bored, I just gave up with it and then I never went back to it. But I've been playing it now for what, best part of two weeks, something like that. Great, I'm absolutely loving it. Anything else? Yeah, a slight niggle. I was on Twitter today actually, and Kim Justice put up a post. There's some retro gaming event down in Norwich this weekend coming, and you know what? They've got YouTube people going. Now, they've got a couple of American channels, which is fine. But then they've got the usual people. Nostalgia Nerd, The Gebs, Slopes Game Room, and Kim Justice. Now, I've got a lot of time for Kim Justice. I mean, I know Kim, I don't know her fairly well. I've met Kim on multiple occasions. She's a lovely, lovely person, and I'm not just saying this because I know Kim, but her videos are great. You know, you can tell there is a real genuine love of video games, and the videos that she puts out are phenomenal. They really are. Now, I'm not, oh sorry, Ashens, he's going as well. Now, I'm not knocking these other channels. They're all massive, they've all got lots and lots of viewers, lots of subscribers. But come on to fuck, you know, seriously, I wish these events would realise that there are more than just 6 retro gaming channels. We're all bored shitless listening to these people. You know, and I'm absolutely not having a dig at the people concerned. But all these events, they get the same perpetrators every year. It's always the same people. How did you get into YouTube? What's your favourite Commodore 64 game? What tips would you give to a budding YouTuber? Come on, there's loads of channels. Yeah, get me on. Fucking hell, I've been doing this for 11 years. Yeah, I have got a paltry number of subscribers. But does that mean that I've not got anything interesting to say? Get Steve Benway on. Get Lon Boys Post 1975. Get Lactobacillus Prime. There's loads of my mates. Get Novabug on. There's loads of my mates have been doing YouTube for longer than some of these people. I mean, Octavius Kitten, or Octavius King as she now calls, she's not been putting out videos for quite a long time, and I know she doesn't keep great, and I watched her last video, and I did put a wee video, I put a comment saying I hope she was kind of feeling better. But you know, she had only been doing YouTube for a couple of years, and then suddenly, boom, she's one of the main channels. She gets invited to play Blackpool, all these different Nerg, you name it, they get invited to all these different shows. Call it jealousy, possibly, but the point is, we're sick and tired of seeing the same channels. I mean, I don't know, I tend to find the bigger the channel, the more insincere they are when it comes to gaming. Maybe that's to be expected, because when you do get to a certain size, you've got to kind of take a step back. But the point is, we have seen these people at multiple events for years and years and years and years, and here we are, 4, 5, 6 years on, it's the same people. Come on, fucking play Blackpool. Come on, Nerg. Whatever it is, you know, all these live events. There are other retro gaming channels out there. Why not get the Retro Asylum on, get the Retro Hour? There's loads of good channels. You don't have to have 2 million subscribers to not have something interesting to talk about. So seriously, think about it, because it just, even when I went to Glasgow, I went to play Glasgow. They had Kim, and again, you know, I've got a lot of time for Kim. I take Kim out of the equation, because I think, Kim would probably admit that, yeah, she's been at all these things, and I'm sure she'll probably admit that, yeah, all these other channels have been on these shows time and time and time again. Is it not about time you got some fresh people in to talk? You know, we've got stuff to talk about. We've all been into video games for a long time. And whilst, you know, we don't have the numbers, we don't have the subscriber numbers, I've done 2,000 videos about retro gaming, so I've got something to say. Come on, think about it, give other channels a chance, because I think, you know, I've actually reached the point where I think the sort of retro community, retro scene regards like YouTube and Twitch in the UK, it's almost outgrown itself. It's got to a point where it's not outgrown itself at all. That's a completely wrong thing to say. It's reached a point where it's the same channels over and over and over and over again. We're never going to ever see anything else. It's a bit like having Sylvester Stallone, Brad Pitt, I don't know, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you name it. Just having 5 people making all the films. Every film you see has got these 5 same people. You need to bring fresh blood in. So come on, think about it, guys. If you're watching, if you're involved in making one of these shows, think about it. Give other folk a chance, you know, because me personally, I'm bored rigid. I've heard all the stories. So anyway, rant over. Yeah, on that bombshell, right? I'm going to jump straight in and let's see. I don't know if I've got any questions from last week, but I will endeavour to have a look. Yeah, I notice I've received a copyright. Well, it's not a copyright strike, but I monetize my channel. I make about £5 a month. That's honest. That's honest answer I make. That's how little I make, because I don't do Patreon or whatever. Oh, there's my alarm going off. Stop that. You behave yourself. Oh, shut up. What was I talking about? Yeah, I've Lactobacillus prime. Mark, he made me an outro. Oh, I don't know, 9 years ago, something like that, for my YouTube channel, and I've been using it on probably 1800 videos, and it's about 10 seconds long. It's just a little, it's not even music, it's just a little noise type thing. Pardon me. But somebody has claimed copyright of this little thing, which means it's blocked some of my videos. It means that I can't make any money on any of these videos. Now, excuse me, I did contact Mark to ask him, because he made the video for me, and it turns out that he used an app for his iPad, and it's designed purely to make outros and intros for YouTube, and all the music and sound effects are all completely free, and that's what he used. So some company somewhere has tried to latch onto this, and it's a pain in the arse. It's a bit of a kick in the bollocks when somebody can come along and say, oh, by the way, I own that little 10 second of noise, and it just affects your whole channel. Like I said, it really doesn't, it's not going to cost me a lot of money, but it's a pain in the arse, because I think it means that some of my videos can't be viewed in certain countries, whatever. But anyway, enough of me complaining about that. Right, let's have a quick look. Oh, I'm getting a bit of intro there. Right, okay, got a couple here. Right, Mr. Racy, question for your next waffle. Back in 2020, you organised a 12-hour charity stream, which was fantastic. Any plans on a follow-up? Maybe chat again with Gary Bracey and others. Cheers. Thanks, Ray. You know what, I would love to do another one. I mean, it did take an awful lot of organising. I don't know whether people would want to come on to it. I mean, there's guys. I mean, I've interviewed Gary Bracey a number of times. Sean Southern I've interviewed a number of times. There was a lot of people there, but you know what? I reckon I probably could. Right now, it's not going to be anytime soon. Is it going to be this year? Maybe. I might try and go for, I don't know, towards the end of the year if I was going to do it. What I need to do is have a chat with a few of my friends, because it's something I'd probably need, well, I would definitely need help with. But I think to make it interesting, you do want to have guests popping up. You don't want me talking shite. I'm sure we could probably come up with different ideas. So it's definitely on the cards. When it's going to happen, I don't know. Could we make it happen this year? Possibly. I do want to get a road trip, by the way. I know I'm going off topic. I do want to get a road trip down to the arcade club organised, maybe August, September, something like that. So anyway, Ray, yeah, watch this space. Hopefully, I would love to do another one. It's nice to know that people did enjoy them, or enjoy it, I should say. Milthy Swinbuckle, yeah, he gave me this epic sort of not a quiz, it was a kind of a task. It was a kind of puzzle type thing, really interesting. If you've not seen it, go and watch last week's Friday Waffle, and you can look at the comments on the Waffle before and give it a go yourself. Yes, I made it up last week on Monday. I loved that read through and hope you enjoyed the game. A bit of daft fun if nothing else. I thought that seeing as we were all game players, how cool it would be to actually send you a game to play as a change from a question. Nah, definitely, Milfy. Listen, you are the main man when it comes to questions. I mean, you keep myself and Delboy going, and that is massively, massively appreciated. Right, from one Milfy Swinbuckle to the next oh shit, I've just bloody given Milfy's question a down thumb, sorry. There we go. Right, question for next Waffle. Do you like eating? Do you like an ending in a game? It seems now, though I don't play these games much, that modern games mostly have an ending that you work towards, and then after you complete the game you can boast about how many hours you've spent playing said game. Funny as this never seemed to be the case much when games were first made. We knew we'd eventually die, but we were quite happy to kick the barries in the balls for as long as we could and brag about how many points we scored before another 10 pence was required to start the whole thing over again. So the question is, why the change, or am I just talking shite again? No, not at all, Milfy. I mean, games have changed so dramatically. Dramatically has maybe been a bit overly dramatic, but they have changed dramatically. I mean, to compare some really poor Pac-Man clone from 1983 with not Call of Duty, well, you can call it Call of Duty if you want, what do you call it, Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 is like watching a film. I mean, it is that realistic, and they're almost at the point where faces look real. You can still tell, you look at a game, you know, even in a modern game, you look at a game, you know it's a game, you know it's not real. But I think probably in the next maybe two generations time, I think they'll probably have the technology where a game looks super realistic, the faces look real. I mean, driving games now, when I was doing it in Insomnia, there was somebody playing, they had, is it Forza 5, I think it is, running on a big screen. I don't know, was this like a 4K TV, but Christ almighty, it looked so realistic, just incredible. But yeah, why the change? Early games, it was about how long you could last. I mean, quite literally, the early games, some of the early Atari games like basketball, I think it was baseball, is it Fire Truck, Boot Hill? I'm sure it wasn't lives, it was time. You had like 90 seconds. Sprint, the original, excuse me, the original Sprint games by Atari, it was time, so you got to play for a certain length of time. Then, I don't know what the first game, was it Space Invaders? I reckon it was probably a game that came out before then, but yeah, they introduced lives, and it was the same level, it was the same thing over and over again. You complete a screen in Space Invaders, and it's just another screen of exactly the same. And so it was all about how long you could play, what kind of score you could get. And we've now reached the stage where games, you know, the early games was somebody in their bedroom programming it. They would do the graphics, they would do the gameplay, they would test it, they would bug test it. They probably even drew the cover. Nowadays, I think games, it's thousands of people. I mean, the budgets of these games must be hundreds of millions of pounds. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I think, yeah, it was always going to happen. Because they're like kind of based on films, I think people expect a reward. I mean, back in the day, I've never completed Manic Miner, but I've not even come close. Back in the day, when you completed a game, you would get like a static screenshot if you were lucky, or if you were unlucky, it would say, well done, and then it would just go back to level 1 again. But obviously people are more sophisticated, they want more bang for their buck. What is that in there? It's just nothing. Yeah, they want more value for money, even though games probably aren't any more expensive than they were back in the day. But yeah, I think it's just the customer has changed. Video games is no longer the same industry that it was, Milfy. So why the change? Because I think they had to. Companies have to adapt. You have to adapt to what your customer wants. And there you go. Right, Colin Jones. Personally, I have 2 Lego builds. The ISS is that International Space Station and a Saturn V. New, no room for more. Yes, it's very expensive. And the Titanic, my brother's, was definitely that Chinese type. The Chinese version, yeah, we're talking about Lego here, by the way. The Chinese version is good, no doubt about that, but the designs are not as well thought out, so can be quite fiddly to build. As for why, I just like working to a plan and it ends up as a nice model. It would cost the same for the same bricks. So if you want to build something else, you haven't wasted money. Easter, what's that? Sorry, that's what I like to hear, totally on the same wavelength. That's what I like. I can't even remember. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Easter, can't remember. Oh yeah. I think Colin was asking, do I look upon it as a political, not a political thing, a religious thing, and I went, not at all. Right, anyway, question for next Waffle. How do you feel, so another how do you feel question. How do you feel about fitness trackers, armbands and Fitbit type watches? I think I'm fairly what's the right word? Not trained. I think I can. Oh, for fuck's sake, not trained. I can't even think of the phrase that I'm trying to say. You know, I've been keeping fit for most of my life, so I think I'm entitled to an opinion. I can't remember the phrase that I'm trying to get. How do I feel about fitness trackers? Honest answer, they're not for me. I think fitness trackers are more for your social fitnessy type person. When I was running, you know, I would go out for a run. I would put a Garmin on so I could see how far I ran. You know, 10 miles, how long it took me, what was my fastest mile. You know, great. It's brilliant when you do something like that. But when I wasn't running, I wasn't interested in recording the number of steps. My girlfriend, she's got a Fitbit. In fact, she bought me a Fitbit for my birthday or Christmas a couple of years ago. And I'll be honest, I never used it. I started using it for a couple of weeks, and then I just stopped. And I think she ended up taking it back, because I think if you don't do fitness, if you don't have a hobby like running or cycling, whatever, and your only fitness is going out for a walk, then I can understand why people want to use them so they can say, yeah, I've done my 10,000 steps or whatever it is. So yeah, I do. I mean, if you're going to go out in a long cycle or a long run, you want to kind of know how far you've gone. Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes I would think, you know what, fuck it, I'm not interested in knowing how far I'm going. I'm just going to go out and run and enjoy it. But I think they're great. I mean, they're not for me, but I do think they're great because it encourages people to take exercise, and that's got to be a good thing. You know, I mean, there's people that probably wouldn't be interested in exercising, probably like my girlfriend, to be fair. But because she's got the Fitbit, you know, she likes to go out walking, and when she hits 8,000 steps, it comes up with a little kind of, you know, fireworks, whatever, it'll like, well done. So, you know, if it encourages people to stay healthy, keep fit, then, you know, I'm all for them, Colin. But for me personally, not for me. And the last comment is Mad Commodore. And he's saying here, I probably missed the whole video, but why did you stop doing the Sunday live streams? That's a very good question, Mad Commodore. I have mentioned it a few times. When I started out making YouTube videos, it was to give me something to do. But then over the subsequent years, I started trying to kind of branch out and do different things. I would, interviewing people. I made a video about tape loading. I would do a 10 best Spectrum games, and I came up with some good ideas, some crap ideas. But then in the last probably 3-4 years, I've stopped making as many of these kind of pre-recorded videos, and I've taken the easy option doing live streams. And I'm sorry to keep going on about it, but a certain YouTuber friend, he was talking about my channel, and he summarised my channel as being Meme Meister who does streams, and that kind of hit a nerve. I just thought, see, that's what people are now looking at my channel as being. It's the guy that does streams. It's the guy that does a Sunday live stream. And I don't want to do that. Don't get me wrong, doing live streams can be fun, but I miss the creativity part of actually wanting to make a video and do a commentary over it and entertain. Because doing a live stream, it doesn't require any effort. It just requires me to make a tit of myself trying to play a game, usually badly. Half the time I can't get a game to load. And I know people enjoy that, but I don't enjoy it. Well, I do enjoy them, but to a point. And I just thought to myself, I've actually got bored. I've got bored of doing these kind of videos. And it was kind of touch and go whether I was going to continue with YouTube. And I thought to myself, right, you know what, I don't want to go up YouTube because I do enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction and what have you. But I just thought to myself, right, I need to be serious here, and I'm going to stop doing them. And that's why I've stopped doing the Sunday stream, because it got to a point where it was a chore. I was sometimes rushing home to get in front of the camera, get it going, and like I say, as well, people seem to enjoy it. I wasn't enjoying doing it, and I've always told myself and anyone else that does YouTube, the day it stops being fun, then stop doing it. Go and get a different hobby, do something different. And that's why the Sunday streams have stopped. Will they return? Possibly, probably. Right now, I won't be doing them. I still do my. It was the same with the Friday Waffle. I wasn't getting any questions at all. I was quite literally, I had nothing. There was times I was putting this camera on, and I had absolutely nothing to talk about. So I thought to myself, right, unless people can start giving me stuff, I'm going to cut back in the Friday Waffle. It might be every 2 weeks, it might be every month, it might be whenever. Since making that statement, I've managed to do another 4. Because I do, if I'm going to enjoy making a video, I'll make it. If I don't feel in the mood, I'm not going to make it. So that's pretty much the reason, Mad Commodore, why I've stopped doing Sunday streams. I was getting bored of them, and I don't want to be known as that YouTuber that does streams, because I'm not a Twitch person. People have said to me before, oh, you should go into Twitch. I'm not interested in going into Twitch, honestly. It's a great thing. I don't actually watch any Twitch streams at all, but lots of my friends do it, so anyway, there was probably something else I was going to tell you, and I can't for the life of me think what it was. So I'm going to get going. I just want to. I noticed my subs. It's weird. My sub numbers was completely static for months and months and months and months, and I've gained about 10 in the last maybe 3-4 days, which is great. Getting towards 4,000. I think I will. Do a 4,000 subscriber special, so if you want to see that sooner rather than later, get subscribing. I never ask anyone to subscribe, but no, if I can get to 4,000, I think I will. I think I owe it to you people. I think I owe it to you people to tell you why what makes me happy, why I'm happy that I've got to this landmark number. I'm not there yet. I mean, I'm still about 60 away, so it might be in a couple of months' time, it might be at Christmas, it might even be next year. Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, after this, there's going to be, I'm going to put my, I'm going to tag on the Insomnia video. So anyway, if you want to watch that, hang on. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.
future.